What's up guys, Josh here, and in today's video we're going to take a look at the best pre-built I could have gotten if I didn't buy my RTX 3080 Ti. Now I just recently got my Gigabyte RTX 3080 Ti Vision OC. I just did a video on it, so definitely go and check that out. It'll be linked right above. And this card is amazing, incredible performance, but the price is, well, let's just say a little on the expensive side. This card, MSRP, $1,529. So for $1,500, what is the best pre-built we could have gotten if I didn't get the 3080 Ti? And this is also just kind of, at this point in time, middle of 2021, what is the best pre-built you can buy for right around $1,500? Now, we have a couple of different options that we're going to take a look at. The first one being this Asus build on Best Buy. So this is the Asus ROG Gaming Desktop. It's got an 11700F, 16 gigs of RAM, and an RTX 3070, 1 terabyte HDD, and a 512 gig SSD. Now, this thing, just based on pure specs, looks really, really good. Everything you would kind of want from a pre-built. You even get mouse and keyboard included. Asus peripherals are pretty good, if I don't say so myself. And overall, the build looks really, really nice. It's using all Asus components. So you have your Asus RTX 3070. It looks like it's a blower style cooler, so it might get a little bit loud here and there. You also get the 11700, which is a good chip in itself. All kind of just base cooling, nothing really crazy there. Now, the only little kind of concerning thing with this particular build are the reviews, only a 3.4 star. And it looks like the main thing is going to be cooling. So the 11700F seems to be running a little bit warm with the stock cooler that comes in this build. And like I mentioned, it looks like it's just like a base Intel cooler. Low profile. I'm surprised Asus did not use a better cooler on this build, but that is something that you could easily upgrade. Everything in this build is, again, Asus components, so it should be pretty much off-the-shelf parts. The motherboard, GPU, CPU, everything can be upgraded down the line. It looks like you even get an ATX motherboard instead of a full-size ATX motherboard, but from that perspective, if it's just going to be throwing in a new cooler, whether that be a new AIO, which many people have done down in the reviews. You can see here you get a 240 mil up front. Another person with an NZXT cooler installed. So pretty much all of these reviews are telling you that you're going to need to upgrade your cooling for the CPU. But that's not a bad thing at all. For $1,600, if all you're doing is upgrading a CPU cooler, then that's a pretty good deal for an RTX 3070. So this is probably my best pre-built right now, under 15. So this is probably my best pre-built right now for that $1,500 price point. But these things sell out pretty often. So there are a bunch of other options that, let's say you can't get your hands on this one, that are going to do you just as good. So the first one is the HP Omen 30-liter desktop. Now these things, it's technically not an off-the-shelf pre-built, but you can customize it and get your kind of exact performance needs that you're looking for. So what we're going to get is a 10600K with liquid cooling. Pretty sure the liquid cooler on this thing is going to be a single 120 or 140 millimeter radiator as the exhaust on the case. The case overall is just like your typical Omen case that they've come out with more recently. The single fan down here at the bottom, exhaust out the back. But we're getting the 10600K, like I mentioned, 16 gigs of 3200 megahertz. HP has definitely stepped up their game a little bit in terms of RAM out of the box. Some nice speeds, as well as it just being HyperX memory. We're also going with a 512 gig NVMe, a 1 terabyte HDD, and we're getting a GeForce RTX 3060 Ti. No slouch of a card there. Of course, the Asus with the 3070 is a nice deal, but this thing also comes in $75 less, and you're really just getting the 3060 Ti and a 10600K versus a 3070 and that 11700F. 10600K versus 11700F, they're probably going to be pretty close. One with the overclock that you can do on that 10600K, a 750 watt platinum efficiency power supply, which is really, really nice and allows you to upgrade down the line. That 750 watt is going to support up to a 3080 Ti like I currently have in my system. And you also do get a wired keyboard and mouse. So for $1,528, ships on August 20th. So it is a bit far out in terms of a ship date, looking like a month away. It's still a really, really nice build for that price point. One graphics card with a 3080 Ti versus this entire pre-built of a system. Yeah, there's definitely some options out there at this price point. And now just jumping over to another option here on Newegg, and that is the ABS Master Gaming PC. We have a Ryzen 7 3700X, so last gen Ryzen, a GeForce RTX 3060 Ti, 16 gigs of RAM clocked in at 3000 megahertz, and a 1 terabyte NVMe. We also get a 650 watt power supply, some RGB all over the place, but overall a pretty good looking computer, and it's gonna be, again, all off the shelf components. An MATX board, not the greatest when it comes to that. The 3060 Ti also doesn't look like it has the greatest cooling on it, but overall the computer looks pretty good. It's using a Roswell case, so again, you can upgrade this thing with whatever you really want down the line, and you're going to be just fine. Very similar to the HP. There's not going to be crazy difference in performance there. 3060 Ti, pretty much the same build here or there, a couple extra cores with that ABS, but this one $1,530 versus the $1,599. However, the ABS build is going to ship a lot sooner than that HP, so some things to weigh there. If you want the PC right now, if you can wait a little bit, there's definitely some options. And another very, very similar build, we have the Maingear Vybe with the RTX 3060 Ti. Now, this one is a little bit pricier at $1,700. Like I just mentioned, with ABS at $1,750, you can get a 3070, but this thing has a 5600X 3060 Ti. You're getting a MSI B550 motherboard, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gig NVMe, 1 terabyte HDD, a 500 watt power supply, so not as upgradable as some of these other systems that we're looking at, but you should still be able to upgrade it down the line. So this is just one that I threw in there just in case you wanted to look at a little bit more of a premium build quality PC with similar components. Now, I was also going to throw in and try to find a either Build Redux or NZXT or even Corsair PC that fits within this price point of this $1,500 or right around $1,500, and there's really nothing at this point in time. The NZXT Starter PC Pro is a $1,400 build right now, and that thing has an RTX 2060, so that's kind of where you're at unless you wanted to go up to $2,000 with their streaming PC where you're going to get the 3070, but that's just a little bit of a pricier build than what we're looking at here at the $1,500 price point. Yeah, there's just a lot of this is kind of like a weird ground at $1,500. There's some pretty good $1,000 builds with like 1660 Supers, 10600Ks or 10400Fs that are really good PCs to play at like 1080p. And then there's like this weird middle ground at $1,500. And then once you hit that $2,000 price point, you're really looking at like 3070s and some higher end CPUs, some higher end cooling solutions, and better build quality. But at $1,500, there's one other option that I wanted to show you, and that is this MSI build with a i7-10700F and an RTX 3060 for $1,650. And the main purpose of me really showing you this build is, again, just a slightly different option. It is pricier with only a 3060, but you're getting everything you would really need in terms of gaming performance. The 10700F, RTX 3060, it's all MSI components, so you're getting really good GPU, you're getting a good motherboard, and the price isn't totally unreasonable for these components. But like I mentioned, and it's kind of how we've gone through these PCs, is how I would rank them right now. I would probably go with this Asus. Overall, $1,600 to get a 3070 is a great deal. You're going to have to upgrade the cooling, but overall, it's not a bad build. Next would be this HP at $1,525, pretty much the exact same price as my 3080 Ti. And this thing, again, 3060 Ti, water-cooled 10600K, a really, really good option if, you're not able to get your first choice of, something with a 3070 at a similar price. And then we have the ABS Master Gaming PC, pretty much the exact same build as that Omen, but you're getting a 3700X for $1,600. A really good deal here yet again. And then a couple more of the pricier options. You have the Vybe at $1,700 and the MSI at $1,650. These are just options where you're going to get really good components, nice build quality, a good warranty, and all of that. But you're sacrificing the specs of those first three systems. But yet again, just to reiterate, this is the build I would go with right now, the 3070 with the 11700F. If you can find something similar with similar specs from other manufacturers that you trust, definitely give those a look. If you have any questions or comments about these builds or other builds that you're looking at, definitely leave those in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, get subscribed to the channel, turn on post notifications so you can stay up to date on all my latest videos. We'll be doing plenty more content with the 3080 Ti, a lot more build reviews and best pre-built videos. So definitely stay tuned for those. And I'll see you guys in the next one.